So this next part that we're going to talk about is the effects on here, which is number 6. All right. So the number 6 part we're going to add. There's actually 2 parts that we're going to actually break down. Effects are going to be, there's also what's called video transition and video. There's also video effects in here as well. All right. So the one that I'm going to focus on is the transition part right here. All right. So this is more about the transition part. There's an entire course in digital video about this. So like I said, I'm teaching you just enough to put together a simple video with it as well. So this is the video effects, and we're going to do the video transition part for this. So when you come over here in your browser, remember this right here that I had you turn on and off a few minutes ago with it, go to Windows and you come down and find effects for me. And one of the things I like for you to scroll down, you expand the video transition with it. And in the transition, this is the audio, sorry. Here's the video transitions, this one right here. And you can expand the dissolve, and you will see the dissolve that I have here. Now you got to be very careful. You don't want to make it too much. You can make your video very, very cheesy. You know what that means, right? It looks very, very amateur because you just found a new toy and you just want to play with it. The common ones that people use is the cross dissolve, dip to black, dip to white, and film dissolve. I recommend these 4 right here. Don't do anything else that's, weird things on there. It's a distraction from the video. That's what I'm talking about with it. Too much video transition. It just takes away from the video with it as well. So, for example, take your timeline all the way to the back to the beginning with it. I'll tell you what. We're at the end of this right now. So this is the thank you where the text comes in, right? And you would have a video that comes in with it. So let's say we want to do this is the end. This is the end scene with it, right? We can actually take a cross dissolve, or let's take a cross dissolve and just drag that on there. All right, and you can see how that cross dissolve kind of comes in with it. And let me zoom in to this thing as well. So if I do control and a plus, remember that hot toggle key that I was telling you about to zoom in? It's just a plus on there. I'm sorry, I hit a control with it. So if I hit a plus, the numeric number plus, come on, I'm on a virtual desktop. Nothing works, believe me. Some of the keys might not work like I want it to work. Well, darn it. Anyways, what I want to do is actually do a dissolve. How I can shorten that up with it. I hope you can see this. And I can actually take the other end of this thing and put it back here as well with it. Do another dissolve. Shorten that up with it, how it fades in a little bit with it. So when I actually take this to the end with this and kind of, you can play this a little bit. You can see up here how it fades in. See that? And it kind of fades out with it. So the cross dissolve is a really good way to do this. And we'll do this for the video part as well. So this is the video layers, this right here, right here, right here. This is the video. I just want that video layer with it. So it's at the end of this right now. We're going to fade it out with it. So let's do a cross dissolve right there with it. And we'll do this at the same time as our text coming in with it. Okay. So when this thing plays, we want both of them kind of dissolves at the same time with it. That's it. All right. Maybe I want this a little bigger, a little longer with it. Okay. To have the text up there a little longer with it. You could actually play. So that's the easiest one, is the end. Now let's take this to, let's go scrub, take all the way to the front for me. So that's fading out. I always like to show the fading out and the beginning and ending, and then I'm going to show you how to edit at the beginning, in the middle of this thing, how you fade in and out of this thing from the beginning for this. So drag your needle all the way back to the front, or the 0, 0 timeline. Okay, you can drag it up there, it'll be a lot easier with it. So here's the graphic that's coming in right now, and you can see that text that comes in right now. Now, what I'd like to do is come in again. We could do a cross dissolve, or you could do a film dissolve. Let's try a film dissolve. One of these four: cross dissolve, dip to black, dip to white, film dissolve is what I recommend. Don't do anything else. It looks weird with it. Let's do this right here and just kind of drag this out a little bit. And you can see how this comes in, fades in, but maybe I want that text to be a little longer. Gosh, this is bugging the heck out of me. I can't. There we go. Okay, so I just want to edit that part only. So when that comes in, okay, so it's up to you and how fast you want this thing to be fading in and out with it. So let me have that little bit more, a longer graphic text with it, overlapping this as well. And then if I want it to actually do another dissolve, okay, so play it again. Okay, maybe I want the whole thing, so I need to read your name is my point with it. Or leave it out there long enough you could dissolve it in and out with it. How's that? So you could do another transition, dip to black. Okay, so I can see your name long enough on here with it. Okay, cool. Now, so this is another, we need to transition this a little bit better. So this is how we kind of like put a band-aid between the two video section for this thing with it. So let's go ahead, put in, we're going to, like I said, I'm going to do this. I'm going to hold down my shift, selecting both of these right now. I'm going to do a dip to black and point it right where the connection part is. And then I'm going to hold down my shift. This is connecting both of these with it. Dip to black means it's going to fade in, fade out in a second here, right where the joining is with it. Hold on. Let me do this. This is not right. Hold on. Okay, so let me continue on with editing at the beginning of this thing with it. I didn't like the way how I had to do this with it as well. I'm going to do the cross dissolve right here for this one. So let me do the cross dissolve. What I didn't tell you is that in this version you have to select the layer that you have, and if you select that and hold down your shift and you select the second part, the continuation for both of these things, this is the right way of doing it. And then I'm going to drag this to about right there, and it's going to fade in. I'm going to shorten that up a little bit about right there with it. Take this cross one right here and put this right here. Now let me select that, drop that right there with it. Come on. Oh, by the way, make sure you save frequently, so let's do file save for me so you don't crash Premiere. It's always been known as pretty quirky with it. So I'm going to do that. Gosh, hang on. I know why I messed up here. I'm supposed to use the dip to black. The dissolve doesn't work for the two segments that's connected together. So I'm going to take the dip to black and I'm going to actually, let me do this. Let me show you something. I'm going to do this, only just like that, this, and just drag dip to black. And as you can see, both of these things, let me fade in, shorten that duration a little bit to about right there. That's how you do a dip to black with it. And I'm going to find this segment and this segment. So let me just do that and that. Dip to black with it. Dip to black on this side as well. So I had to go back in and remove the little red thing, but if you just look at the way how this is joined on this part right here with it, it has to be a clean join. I had a little, I had to delete a little couple of few milliseconds out of it. So it needs to be if you look at this line, it's just a very, very clean line. I'm going to scrub back and forth so you can see how these two scenes are kind of like, they're just like appearing. There's no transition at all between this right here with it. So I'm going to click on the dip to black. I'm going to drag it and point it at the joining of the two the segments of the two footage with it, and you could see how that kind of overlaps with it. And I'm going to drag this up a little more. Whoop, not that. So I like to take this right here, and this is the part that I want to have a little bit more, to dip to black to it. You see how that overlaps the two with it. And I could change, I double clicked on it, I changed that transition up to, let me change that transition to, let's make that a little different with it. Let me change that to, let me play with this about 34. And you could see, make that a little bigger so I can drag it. I think it's my mouse, that's what that is with it. So I just made it a little bigger. You can see the transition comes in with it, you know, with it. So I'd like for you to go into all of your connecting parts to your segments of your transition, your videos to it, and fade in, fade out, even the text that you have right here with it. So you can, if you want to do a cross dissolve, pop that in there, you know, resize that like you did a cross dissolve, coming back out with it as well. With it. There you go. So it fades in and out with it. Let's do a dip to black. Again, that's how I want it to be an even and out with it. Go through with it. So make sure you save it before anything happens to it. All right, save. Take this down here to the next media with it. So here's the next joining with it. Dip to. Let's try dip to white. I don't know how that looks like with it, but we can do that. So the four I recommend is cross dissolve, dip to black, dip to white, and film dissolve. In insufficient media, the media will contain repeated frames with it. That's fine with it. Okay, this is the part that we need to actually join. That's what's flagging me here. all this here to about right there so it doesn't have a gap. So let's try a film dissolve, see what that looks like. There you go with it, and that's a film dissolve, cross dissolve between the two with its little band-aid. Dip to black. Again, I'm just playing with the four, the four, each one of these things. So when you have something like I have it right here, which tells me it kind of has a little kinks into it, I had to go in and splice this up a little bit with it. Film dissolve. Yeah, there's still overlapping issues in there. That's why. Yeah, so what I normally do when this happens like this with it, let's take that needle where our needle line is. So let's say this is the part right about right here, right about right here. I'm going to splice this right here. I'm going to cut this in right now. Control K. Just a few seconds is not going to hurt. Cut. Then I'm going to take this, bump it up next to it. Because it has a gap in there, that's why. So I'm going to do I need to do the other one too as well. So see, I don't want just one side. So let's okay, click on that little itty bitty part that won't be missed. With it, so it looks like that. Because you have a gap in the middle, that's what it is with it. And there you go. Oh shoot. And you can click on this and you can actually give it a little bit more duration to this thing like I did on here as well. So that actually, Control Z. Okay, so play with this. I'm going to stop the video here. You know the gist of this, so edit your whole video. I'm approaching 8 minutes here, so uh-oh, here's a gap right here. So you want it clean like this with it. So just take a dip to white, point it right in the middle for me. There you go. Okay, you want it, if there's a gap in the middle of the two connection, it's not going to do the transition. So make sure you have that properly done with it. So I gotta move all of this stuff back as I move it to the front with it as well. So it looks something like this right now. All right. All right, let me save this. And we'll play this. Hold on. Take your timeline to the bottom front here, click on the top, move your needle, and we're going to play this thing. Fade in, fade out, in, out. Here's another fade coming in. Good. Greenhouse. You notice I muted all the audio in this thing right now with it, so you're not going to be able to see. I should have cut that guy out, but you know what to do. cut that guy out too as well. All the humans need to be removed. Sorry, sounds kind of mean. There's another fade. Okay, that's a, okay. Okay. So if you notice that there's a couple of things that when it pops up the error is that it was insufficient memory, it's the computer with it as well. So when you get to something like this, don't worry about it. I mean, there's a transition. I see that. It's just a little glitch in the software right now with it because we've been working on this and it ran out of memory with it as well. So this is technology. This is what I'm talking about. So I just saw that little back to here. Let me show you this right here. I want that to be a little bigger. So 8 seconds, let's make that to about 64, I don't know. Okay, so let's make that transition a little bigger with it. So, okay, so all that fades in and maybe there's too much bees here. You can cut out if you want to. I don't care. But and we're approaching the end. Thank you. Fade out. All right. So this concludes the effects. All right.